Pleb Broadcasting Service.
Let me hit record real quick.
Yeah, the fingerprints on your screen look like an entire landscape.
Shh, be quiet.
Well, you're not going to want to use this audio.
Shh. Starting.
Hey! Welcome back to PBS Plebs. The mics probably work right now. I'm peeking it. I'm going red over there.
Can you see it?
Because I'm actually close enough.
I can't see from this.
This is how close everyone should be to the mic. Like this.
Testing.
I'm almost eating it.
Oh yeah, mine lights up too. That's pretty cool. You just brought me the whole bottle. Bless you.
Yeah, look at me. Like, I'm here with a drink and you're not. I don't even drink.
So when you hit the button to go live, does it notify anybody on YouTube or anything?
I think it's only going to Twitter right now.
Only going to Twitter. Oh, so people could just drop by on Twitter.
Is it?
Hello.
Yeah.
It's coming tomorrow. Sweet. I don't see it.
Where is it? It's good stuff. Here, let me see if I can find it. It's good tequila. Carlos.
You want a joke?
I want a joke.
You don't get a joke. Not for you. You're the joke guy.
Jana wants a joke.
You've been workshopping jokes with us since the last PBS.
Yeah, you're the only one that gets put on the spot to tell jokes.
Yeah, Austin, tell us a joke.
So you need some.
I told one joke. That's enough.
Hey, tell why PBS.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm here. It wasn't my idea.
Yeah. All right. So what's the new format?
All right, get over here.
What are we doing?
I assumed you would be up here.
We're doing PBS. We're doing PBS for real. And we're doing PBS for real once again because I think there's just a lot that's going on in Austin, right? All of us are doing.
Tons going on in Austin.
And like we want to talk about it. And also I hear people on Twitter saying that Nashville is better than Austin. And I'm like, guys, let's get it right. Did you see that?
I did. I saw some mention of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got paid shills.
I think so.
They've got paid shills. Well, I think Austin's great.
Hartman is always there at the front lines defending Austin against the the Nashvilleans.
Yeah. What is there to even do in Nashville?
I
Outside of
mean,
Oakland Park?
chicken. Would you
Their downtown is like 2 streets, and that's it.
listen to music?
What is a Nashville?
I mean, Nashville's great. I love Nashville.
But
it's
didn't
a small town.
didn't Bitcoin Park have like that big Bitcoin inflatable for a little bit? I mean, maybe that was a reason to go.
Oh, for the inflatable toy?
For the inflatable, you know.
Okay.
You don't see that every day. But you can't see it. Oh, okay.
Oh, it was that same thing? They have that in front of their house?
The giant Bitcoin.
Wait, what'd you call it? Big. Okay.
We've been talking a lot about Nashville.
Well, let's get into what's going on in Austin. So you're here because I want you to talk about yourself. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, we can make the rounds, I guess, with anybody that wants to share what they're
Yeah.
doing in the lab right now. So I'll start with me. So right now I am building just like a little website. It's just a little basic demo of how to use BitEscrow on
Okay.
the website. So that's what I've been working on.
It's the demo of escrow, BitEscrow.
Yeah, so you can do a lot with the API, but I sort of designed it in a way where you kind of have this nice little website that's
Yeah.
very easy to build as a web developer, and
Yeah.
it's very easy to plug into our API as a web developer.
Yeah.
So I have to eat my own dog food and now build a website to
Yeah.
show like how easy it is. So,
How often are you?
Is it easy?
Yeah. Is
so
it
far
easy?
it's been pretty easy, yeah. Having a good time. So easy a caveman can do it, yeah.
Do you not like
If you
building
wanna get into a
websites?
contract with a
Jim's just
caveman.
asking if he can do it.
Do you think building websites is not fun or it's not what you prefer to do?
Man, it's become like soul sucking. Actually, no, it's not fun at all. No.
Little Ginger, here she comes. Hi. Hey, come here.
Hey, has anyone?
20 minutes into the stream and we've already sold out.
Nashville doesn't have
putting pets on the screen.
puppies.
Tofu, has anyone roasted you and called it bitch escrow yet?
Bitch escrow?
Yeah.
No, you'd be the first.
Bitch or fight escrow?
I'm still waiting for bidescrow.gay to be a thing.
Do you think he wanted to change the name because it had his name in there? Beach escrow?
Beach escrow? Yeah. Beach escrow would be cool.
But isn't that
B-I-E-I-T-C-H.
there's an E in there? Where is that beach?
Beach?
Yeah.
It's probably
He said he was gonna come by. Did he
He came
come
by
by?
yesterday.
Oh, okay, I missed it.
We're hanging out.
Well, that's another thing we should talk about is that Pleb Lab moved.
Yeah.
Woo!
We're in the new location.
If you want to, you can. Well, unless there's more. Actually, I have one more question about what you just shared. The demo website. So when I show up on the demo website, once you've built it, like, what is that experience gonna be like?
So the experience that I'm going for is that as soon as you log in, you have a cute little signing device generated for you
Yeah.
at the very top of the page.
Yeah.
It's very important
Yeah.
to sign things. You need a signing device, so we have one built into the page. And then, so that'll just kind of happen automatically. And then the first thing you'll see is a form. Every good website starts with a form. And it's going to be a form to just fill out a proposal.
Yeah.
So you kind of get access to all the bells and whistles.
Okay.
So you fill it out, you click submit, you get a contract. That'll move to the next view where you'll get a QR code to deposit money.
Ooh.
And then once the contract's funded, you'll get a little box to start like putting in arguments, like I want to close this or I want to dispute this.
Okay.
So I'll just kind of like walk you through like
Yeah.
the whole process.
Nice. Nice. Okay. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You'll be able to make any kind of contract you want. Coin joins, fundraisers, you name it. You can do it all. Degenerate gambling. You want to bet on the Bears game? You and Brandon can.
What was that thing?
Are you a Giants fan or? Yeah, I'm a Giants fan. Yeah. Okay. So if you want to bet, if you want to place a bet.
I want to bet on how bad they're going to lose. Yeah.
What was that thing that Super made? That was about joining a. What do you call it? Covenant? No, not a covenant, but.
He made something where you can join a multi-sig.
Uh huh.
And
What do you
then
call it,
could-
though?
Oh, he called it BitPack.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Bitpack. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Super.
Shout out to Super Testnet.
Shout out wherever in the world Super Testnet is. Okay, I have another question for you.
Okay.
So, new Pleb Lab space. We just moved here. What do you like about this new space? What do you not like about this new space?
Yeah, hopefully they're not watching. Security team is a little bored with their job. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But no, I would say like let's start with the worst. The worst is the parking because we're in the heart of downtown, so
Right.
parking is a bitch.
Yep.
Uh,
Where have you been parking? You said you
it's
found a
secret-
place.
I have a secret spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep it secret. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Excuse me.
But there are some spots that I've shared with people at the lab. So one of the perks of being a member of Pleb Lab is you get to know where all the secret parking is. Or at least, yeah,
If you ask the right questions.
if you ask the right questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So parking's bad. Security doesn't like us.
So on to the good.
On to the good.
On to the good. Oh man, where do I start with the good? We basically got this place for a steal.
Yeah.
Whole community space that nobody else uses, so it's kind of our space,
Yeah.
including the kitchen. That we have like a really cool kitchen and break room with like tons of tables and stuff, none of which we had to pay for. So it's kind of like that's great.
And are they washing our dishes for us? Is that
They
what I
were
was
washing
reading?
our dishes. I don't know who asked them to do that. Nobody else uses the break room, but I guess they like to imagine like if there's a bunch of tenants here.
We
that-
got like 4 complaints this week. That's crazy.
yeah, but there's
Yeah.
nobody else in the building, so like
They just play
all
bored,
yeah, they're literally just bored with nothing to do, and now they get to complain, so they're doing it. So
Well,
whatever.
the Evo people are here, but they're like actually working.
Is Evo the like across the little?
Yeah, but I think their offices are big enough that they just do everything inside their office.
They also put the
Yeah.
counters too. I noticed you
Yeah.
said
Covering. Oh, cover. Okay, so maybe that's something we need is some like opacity on the windows. I know.
Well, probably because they've been getting shit from the building for a while now, so they just decided to cover everything up.
I know there's one member among us who wants to bring in some velvet curtains, so maybe we can just keep that going.
Yeah, so the community space, we have like our own Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
Which is
I haven't
pretty
tried
nice.
it yet.
Me and Carr, we were having lunch the other day. And we
Hey,
just
can
sit
you-
down and it's.
Can
it,
you
it feels
can you
like
put your
that,
finger on
that
the
scene in The Matrix where you're just eating the steak.
Did you try it? What'd you eat there?
I just try a different thing every time.
Chicken parm?
I did the chicken parm sandwich last time.
Chicken parm sandwich, okay.
Yeah. Carr got some fettuccine alfredo.
Ooh, I do love that. Okay.
Yeah, so we got our own Italian restaurant that's connected to the building. We have our own convenience store, which
Yep.
is also really nice.
I haven't been in there yet either.
It's
What's
great.
what's nice about it?
What's nice about it is that they have pretty much everything.
Okay.
So
Vapes?
they're really well stocked. They even have vapes.
Delta 9?
I don't know if they have that.
Well, that stuff's
thing.
trash anyway. So.
Yeah, it
They,
is pretty trash.
they do.
Okay.
They do. So yeah, all your addictions, they've got.
Sweet.
They've got
Conveniently.
cold and lukewarm water. I like me some lukewarm water, which can be hard to find sometimes. Coffee, in case we run out of coffee here, they got backup coffee.
Great.
Fruits,
Great.
snacks, ice cream.
Oh.
Yeah, what?
It's harder. It's still easy.
Oh yeah, so the lack of drug addicts.
That is a
Right
plus.
outside our
That
front
is a
door.
plus. Yeah.
Outside, sometimes they try to get inside.
Well, ask
Yeah.
Nick about that. All right.
Yeah, even the few homeless people that do walk by, they're
Yeah.
actually a lot nicer.
Yeah. Well, and somebody asked me about it too, and I was like, the difference is kind of like the same people are still like passing by, but they're not like collecting right outside. That's the difference, I think.
Yeah, they're not.
They're,
literally
like,
camping out in
transient.
front of our door,
Yeah.
trying to break in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God though, like no like real incidents ever happened. I mean, I watched a man piss like right in front of the gate one time, but
Wow.
you know I can live with that.
Yeah. Okay. Not me. No. I once saw something similar to that, but worse.
Yeah.
In LA,
Yeah.
and it was in broad daylight.
Yeah.
On a busy street corner, and
Yeah.
that just rubbed me the wrong way. So.
Well, I wrote a poem about it. Maybe you can read my poem and we'll both heal.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm still kind of triggered by that. I had my girlfriend at the time with me. A slam poem. Yeah, let's do some poetry.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I could read poems on PBS. I don't have it right now. That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm into that. It
Okay.
snaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be the percussion instrument. You're the musician.
I'm not a musician anymore.
Oh.
I'm a virgin now.
All right. Yeah, so we can do poetry.
Lacks a guitar.
We could do haikus.
Oh, what happened to the guitar?
Brought it home.
Aw.
Didn't bring it back.
But you still can.
I still can't.
We'll have a guitar at Pleb Lab soon. Okay.
Oh yeah.
What
we're
else are we
missing all
talking
the-
about?
The music equipment, huh?
Oh, we were gonna talk about. We went to a meetup. There was a couple meetups this week that we went to. So a few of us went to the Round Rock meetup last night.
Yeah.
That's another thing that happens in Texas that you can only get in Texas. There's stuff in Austin, but not even like the. I was gonna say tendrils. The tendrils are spreading. What's another metaphor?
I like that word though. No, it's a good word.
We're reaching
calling
our
on
grasp
Yeah.
into mycelium connection from Austin to Round Rock. So yeah, Round Rock last night. What do you think?
Round Rock was great.
Shout out Jason.
Jason puts on a great meetup. Round Rock is just a beautiful area. Yeah.
I didn't get to see a lot of it because it was already dark.
Yeah, it was dark, but my night vision's pretty good. Just
Okay.
being in LA.
Okay.
It's kind of like one of the mutant powers that you get.
Yeah.
In Round Rock?
Yeah. It's like family. You can raise a family in Round Rock.
Yeah, it's more spread out too. So one thing I noticed, and it's kind of similar in Dallas, is that they'll have like really large courtyards,
Yeah.
and then they'll just put like beautiful stuff everywhere, and they'll just take up all the space
Oh,
because
yeah.
they have so much space.
Yeah.
So you go there and you just have like,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful. You have all these big, beautiful buildings with plenty of space in between. Nothing feels too crowded. You know, I'm more of a city boy, so I kind of like things a little more compact.
Yeah.
But it's nice to like go up to Round Rock and then everything's spread out. And it just, I don't know, there's like a calming to it. You
Mhm.
just kind of feel at peace.
Mhm.
It's just, yeah, being out there, not in the wilderness, but just kind of like,
It's
it's
a
a small town feel,
Yeah.
but
It-
modern, like a modern. They're not that far from Austin, so it doesn't-
Right.
They don't have.
They had a lot of bars, and there had a lot of people in the bars on a Thursday night. So I mean, that's kind of unique.
Yeah.
Like a suburb wouldn't necessarily have. I mean, I guess they would, but I don't know. It still felt like alive,
They did.
like Austin.
Yeah.
So
So Round
okay.
Rock was great.
I might call up Austin to talk more about what he talked about since he was the presenter
He was the
at the meetup.
You gonna tag me out?
Sure. I'm buying Bitcoin right now.
He's smash buying Bitcoin right now because it's at
37,382.
current price is
37?
$37,382. Dollars.
Throw it over to Clark's dashboard.
Yeah. We should have the block clock in the background.
Oh yeah, we should pull the block clock.
What's up, Lisa? We got a new PBS member.
Hello, welcome. We have another girl here. Where my ladies at?
What's your wrestling name?
What's my wrestling name? Country Fudge. Yes.
So yeah, we're talking
Has
about
to do with my my identity that I identify as.
Round Rock.
Yeah.
So tell us how that went for you and what you did and what you talked about.
Went well. It's a good meetup. It was a good chance for me to do a presentation that wasn't like just a strictly technical presentation only for programmers. Like I knew it would be a mixed audience, and I wanted to make it interesting, but I also wanted to challenge them and make them look at code and make them think about how Lightning works. So we got to do all of that. And it went well, and it was a live demo that worked.
Yeah, it was smooth.
And I was like, wow.
It was well prepared. That was a comment I heard from the crowd.
I got the screen to work, yeah, and Jason was very worried about it. I just plugged it in and it worked. So
Yeah, they really did.
Do you have an M1? That's probably why.
So you talked about pleb devs, you talked about yourself and your Bitcoin journey to being a pleb dev. Here's a question. When do you stop being a pleb dev?
I don't know. I'll let you know when I get there.
Okay. Are you close?
Maybe, I don't know.
Do you think it's like contributing to core means you're not a pleb dev anymore?
No, I don't think it's any one thing. I think it's a
Okay.
feeling inside, a mindset.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Ben Carmen says he's a pleb dev. So if he's a pleb dev, I'm a long ways off.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
Shout
it's a
out
mindset.
Ben.
Like Rocky, yeah.
Shout out Ben the Carmen, if you're watching.
I think it's just that hacky mindset, you know? The mindset of like, I'm not going to do this thing the fundamentally correct sound way. I'm
No.
just going to make it work.
Right. Totally.
Sprint to the finish.
That's the way.
Yeah. See, once you go from pleb dev to being a real dev, that's when it stops being fun. Because then you're like, oh, this has to scale, and I have to like actually deal with these errors and these bugs. Like, that's not fun. That's not what you pitch people on. Yeah.
Okay, let's get somebody else up to talk, unless there's more you want to say.
Question though.
Oh man.
What was your?
I guess I wasn't that interesting.
What was the favorite part of the presentation for you and for the crowd?
I mean, it's cool showing Polar. I showed off Polar as a way to explain Lightning, and Polar is like an old tool for developers and one that we still use and have used for years. But a lot of people, they don't know it and they haven't seen it. And it just so happens to be one of the best visualizations
Yeah, I
for
agree.
showing how lightning works. Because we just, we walked through the steps like, okay, we have a network here. Can I send money? No. Oh, we need to fund it, but we fund it on chain, right? There's an on-chain wallet in here, and then we have to open a channel, and we can send. Okay, but wait, now we can't receive. Now we have to have a balance chain, and it visualizes all those things. So I think it's actually a really powerful normie tool. And what other lightning visualizations are there that's like interactive or anything like that? I mean, there's not much. There's like lightning network graphs, and there's the mempool like lightning tab, which is awesome, but it's not something that like visually helps you intuit how lightning works at all.
Yeah.
Also, the other random opinion I have, I think that lightning is actually easier for like non-technical people, non-developers to understand practically versus the UTXO model. Because lightning is just like a network of nodes model versus like this UTXO model. Like we have no like mental model in our heads that for like
You were
how
explaining
UTXO
it like a bar tab last night.
Lightning channel, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a bar. So there's a bunch of like examples that you can throw out that people will be familiar with about lightning and the nodes and even onion routing and channels and balance and all of that. But then you start talking about the UTXO model. It's like, okay, I've got this output and I've got this input, and I can take this input and I can break it up into multiple outputs. And just like the implications of that, thinking about privacy and efficient like on-chain use of Bitcoin. It's just unintuitive for most people. I feel like you have to just stare at visualizations of UTXOs for a long time.
It's like a nugget of gold.
What is?
I would say it's like a nugget of gold.
Yeah, I've heard that
More so
before.
than a
Like
coin, because it could be a gold nugget can be any size. Just
Yeah.
like an output could be any.
You're saying a UTXO is like a nugget of gold?
Yeah.
Oh.
You could say. I mean, technically, it's like a coin.
Yeah.
And in the software, it's called a coin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's still difficult for people to grok, because when you think of coins, you think of coins with fixed denominations. Like this is 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents. But with UTXOs, it could be any value.
Yeah, so
more
it's like we
a-
have the raw metal. We're melting it together or we're splitting it apart.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a question. Do you think it would be possible, like a lucrative path to like doing the equivalent of like panning for gold in a stream, like collecting UTXOs, and yeah,
Like in what way?
I don't know, just metaphorically right now. It's the only way I can piece it together.
Other people's change.
Yeah,
I mean, searching for people's dust. I don't know how you do that.
searching for people's
It's
dust. Yeah,
It's all just. Yeah.
like
I
where?
mean, if you can get someone's private key, why would
But-
you get private key to dust? Like you would want to get big
Give it
coin.
to miners.
But that is a lot of like data to store. Isn't that kind of a problem?
What is?
Storing UTXO. I mean,
The UTXO set is a lot of data. Yeah.
okay, I'll have to think about that some more. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Do you want to do another segment? I was going to ask Dusty about Core Lightning Week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask Dusty about Core Lightning Week. Yeah.
Do you want
Oh no, you
me to?
you do.
All
Switching
right,
out.
new guests.
Keep it fresh. We're keeping it fresh.
I love these mics.
Ooh, hello internet.
Feels so official, you know?
Ah, Dusty. Dude, I'm stoked you're in town, man.
Fuck yeah, me too.
Every time you come to Austin, it's just so much fun.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I basically. Yeah, what is this?
Oh, they gave
Where's
me
Pleb Lab?
they gave me a free shirt,
Someone give
so
him a Pleb Lab shirt. Come on. But yeah, so basically this week, Lisa is doing a Core Lightning Hack Week. Is that what you guys are calling it?
yes.
Yeah, so tell us.
First annual.
Dude, tell us about it. You guys have been locked away in the conference room doing like genius, brilliant stuff. I want to learn. What do you guys do?
Well, you know, it's funny. He was talking about how if you're just a pleb dev, you don't have to do all of the work of being like a, you know, I don't know what, professional dev, I guess. So a lot of the stuff you're saying that it's lame to do, we're doing a lot of that, primarily.
Lame stuff always. I heard you guys are working on something pretty cool.
I think a bunch of cool things, but you gotta put in the work to make sure all the like the details work out right, and especially when you're coding Lightning, where it's like it's a really hard style of coding because like one, if you screw up, people lose money, so you gotta do everything very carefully. And then also you have to assume your peers are adversarial, trying to steal your money too.
Oh yeah.
So like the amount of like effort that goes into like making the code very non-pleb devy is a lot.
Slop code.
Oh, I write slop code, but then I fix it before I release it.
Iterate it 100 times.
Yeah, but we got a bunch of people from Core Lighting here. What is it, like 8 people? I think I've lost track. And it's been great because like we're all spread over like the world, and we don't really. A lot of times, like collaborating will be slow, particularly with the remote signing VLS stuff.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know what that is, that's this way of taking the keys from your node and then taking them off your node. So like, it makes your like lighting node less hot. But anyway, they're implementing splicing for that. They have to do a bunch of work.
Splice, baby.
So having him here has been great because we've been going back and forth on things, and just being in the same room together just makes it go a lot quicker.
I heard you're working on some liquidity ad stuff too.
Yes.
Is that going on?
Yes, we're doing splicing liquidity ads.
Together.
Yes, which probably I'm getting a lot of confused faces. What is that?
Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Okay, if you're 5, you're getting allowance from your parents. Lightning liquidity ads is basically this way of if you want to be able to receive on Lightning, you have to have a certain kind of channel, and the way you get a channel that can do that is kind of difficult. You have to like know somebody or go through some service. And Lightning liquidity ads is a way to just ask the network, will somebody please open a channel to me, and I'll pay you some sats for it. Simple concept, but
It's just an open marketplace.
Exactly.
Of liquidity.
Yeah. And Lisa's work has that working, so you can request someone to open a channel to you. But one thing you're going to run into is you have a channel, you can only receive so much through it till the channel's like depleted, essentially. And so with splicing liquidity, you'll be able to request that person to up that channel so you can receive more.
So are you saying there's going to be 2 types of like advertisements on this open network? One is to open a new liquidity channel, or one is to splice in to extend it, make a channel bigger, right?
Well, this is one of the things we've been talking about this week. And there's like different ways to do it. And like the simplest one is just have one network, but it doesn't really, one ad network for opening channels or splices, but it doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah. Because those are 2 different people, right?
Yeah.
2 different channels.
If you're splicing, whether you're splicing in or opening a channel, either way you're making an on-chain transaction. Like, does
Yeah.
the user even need to know that, like, oh, I'm responding to a splice versus I'm responding to a channel open? Like,
The user being the like the pleb with an app or the other side of it.
the plug with an app.
Yeah, I think what all this stuff we're talking about enables is people to build self-custody apps that just do it all auto-magically, where the users don't have to do anything at all. And we have those today, but they're usually tied to like one LSP. So you have like Phoenix does this, where you just get a Phoenix, you get the Phoenix app downloaded, and like magically you can receive Lightning without having to do anything. But it's through one LSP, right? And so the stuff we're working on was going to open it up, so anyone can be like a mini Phoenix LSP company, and you can shop around to whatever one you want, and the app will do it all automatically. So this is a long-winded way of saying, yeah, it just makes everything. It's bringing us closer to having Lightning be as easy as possible for self-custody. Like there's a gap between if someone else custodied it, obviously it's very easy. If you custody it, it's very hard. And we're looking at what are the gaps between those? Like how do we move this line as close as we can to self-custody? And I think with like with splicing liquidity, we're gonna get like really close to that.
So do you think this feature is going to be used in the Blockstream Greenlight stuff?
If I have anything to say about it, sure. I don't know what
How are you going to build it?
Maybe once I finish all the splicing stuff. To get the girlfriend, right? Yeah, splicing will get you a girlfriend. Yeah. So, yeah.
So every time fee spike,
Dude, come take it. I'm out of questions. Take the last spot.
We need like a mobile mic.
I got a question.
All right.
So every time fees spike on the blockchain, we get into this conversation about, let's say, justice transactions.
Yeah.
And how easy is it really to basically settle a dispute on Lightning? I know theoretically you can do it. The math is there, but there's a lot of debate on like how practical it is and does it actually work in a high fee environment.
I hear some people are saying lightning is dead lately.
Yeah, people have been
Popular mantra.
hawing over it. So I would like to get an expert take on like what is the real situation here with just like if the fees spike and there's a dispute between us, are you confident that our channel will like this is a dispute transaction, or let's say it's a justice transaction?
Right.
Like, can you walk us through the process of what that looks like in a high fee environment?
Well, I mean, I think just if you zoom back, like philosophically, like what is the point of Lightning? The main one is for when fees are high and paying on chain isn't realistic anymore. We need some kind of solution. So that's really like its job. Is like it's a high fee environment is where Lightning like really kind of shines. I think you're probably speaking to some of the FUD of like, what's the cost of a justice transaction in, and there are different trade-offs there, right? But like generally speaking, if it's expensive for you to do a justice transaction, it's expensive for your peer to try to attack you. So this isn't a perfect solution, but it balances it out in a way that's unique and has better trade-offs than anything else out there.
So you think right now there isn't really any danger of like you being unable to get your money back if there is a dispute, or if there's.
I want to say there's no danger, but there's danger everywhere. The reality is, it's a trade-off. You're moving the issue from like. So I think a lot of people are used to just on-chain thinking, where it's like I send it or I don't, and that's it. And Lightning just makes those trade-offs more complicated, but they've been designed in a way to work, basically, without going into a lot of the details of it. I mean, we can go through some. We can walk through a justice transaction if you want, but I don't know. I think like some of the fudsters of Lightning like to bring this up, where it's like, one of the things that I've heard is if you have like $100 in Lightning channel, and it costs you $100 on chain to do justice, then what happens then? And we end up with this kind of weird state where you're in kind of like a prisoner's dilemma, where like you can't steal from me and I can't steal from you because literally the on-chain fees are higher than our channel balance if we had this $100 channel. So that ends up being, because of the prisoner dilemma, we might as well keep the channel open, right? Okay. And I think like that it generally works out that way, and I think that it's not as perfect as like on-chain boomers would want it to be, but it's pretty good. I think it's better than custodial. Or just not using it at all.
Wait, but doesn't the prisoner's dilemma end with one of them ratting each other out?
That's probably a bad analogy. You're right. Yeah, I need to find a better analogy. But
like it's a matrix. There's four possibilities. There's no like foregone.
Well, yeah.
It's basically if you both fuck each other over, you both get fucked. I was gonna say it's even better than a prisoner's dilemma, because if one of you defects, then you just burn your money and fees, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the right analogy is, but it's like if in this example where fees are higher than our channel, like you can't. There's nothing for you to steal, right? Like, what are you going to steal?
It is a prisoner's dilemma, but the weights are like favoring cooperation.
Yeah. We should find a new analogy, make up a new one like that.
Okay. Also, like I think a week ago, there was like talks about some exploits that were could be FUD, but do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, Lisa looked into it a lot more thoroughly than I did, but essentially he described a way to abuse mempool policy to kind of trick some Lightning nodes, and its idea is like you kind of it's a miniature Sybil attack, like a pincer attack, where you have nodes on both sides of somebody and they cooperate to try to do this. But looking at it, it's not a very scary attack, because all you have to do to fight it is just republish your transaction. I'm simplifying, that's pretty much it. And so when the exploit was found, it was found, and then like the information was talked about and shared with all the Lightning devs. It was fixed by just literally republishing transactions. So as long as your node is aggressively republishing, you end up being fine from this. But what's weird about it is like, it was already fixed when he announced it. But like the nature of, I don't know, media cycles is like people think, oh, Lightning's dead now. I mean, maybe it's because he rage quit at the same time.
Yeah, it was kind of a rage quit kind of post that he made.
Yeah, it gets a little more attention, but yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of this is really just nodes keeping up whatever is happening in the mempool.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're honest, like the mempool as it's designed is like it has a lot of problems, and Lightning has to do all of these tricks to work with the existing mempool, and they've been long pushing for like, can we get some updates to the mempool? You know, package relay but there's other proposals that are probably better, but just something to improve it. And like this is really that exploit is really a symptom of the mempool policy being, you know, not appropriate. If you look at back when mempool was designed, it was back when we didn't have Lightning, right? And then when designing it, they were just like, hey, how do we make this work for like different competing transactions? We want to have RBF, like how do we make that work? And they just kind of made some assumptions that worked at the time, but as we were maturing, we realized those assumptions they're just wrong. And so like, if we had a better mempool policy, a lot of this would go away. Combining mempool policy with like APO or something, it would simplify, and like the risk of these kinds of exploits appearing would go away. But you know, working on Lightning, we don't know what's going to come out of core, so we just sort of we work around it as it is, because you can't like build it for a version of Bitcoin that's going to exist or maybe going to exist. You got to do it for what's here today.
Yeah. Is there like a particular fix that you're interested in in terms of mempool policy?
Oh man.
You mentioned package relay.
Package relay, there's a bunch floating around. This is another great Lisa question. We should get her over here. Although she does want to delete the mempool tools, so maybe we shouldn't bring her over here. But
she's one of those. Okay.
But she also has some reasonable ideas for it. The main idea, like the biggest problem really is just this pinning concept, where it's like, you think high level, what's the goal of the mempool? It's we have transactions we want the miners to mine, right? The miners want to mine our transactions, we want them to mine them, right? So what we want to do is communicate, hey, I'll pay more money for this thing to go through, and have that just communication flow. The problem is when you have these multiple attached pending transactions, someone can make it look like they're paying a lot more than they really are. And if you're talking to miners directly, they'll be like, no, you're paying me less. I don't want to take your transaction. But the mempool policy as it is will favor the guy doing this type of transaction that looks like it's paying more. And so it's really like the incentives. The mempool is meant to mimic the incentives of what the miners will do, and it's just doing a bad job of that.
Wow. So it doesn't. So you're talking about like a pinning attack.
Yeah.
Which I kind of vaguely understand, but so somehow you inflate the size of a transaction that's a child.
Yeah.
But you make it seem like the fees are higher than what you would actually get for the size of the transaction?
Essentially, yes. Well, higher than your peer would pay, right? So the problem is see if I can do this from memory. The problem is that what they're going to do is they're going to make a child transaction that's a lot of bytes. So let's say you have you're fighting over this 200 byte transaction, something small, right? Then they make a 10,000 byte transaction. And if they pay for those, I have to, because of the RBF rules mem policy, I have to pay for the 200 bytes of what I care about. And then I have to go higher in fee than he paid for his 10,000 byte one. So I have to essentially pay way more than is appropriate for my transaction.
Okay, so they're forcing you to have to beat them in fee rate.
Yeah, but the larger thing is just that the mempool policy is just old. It was designed a long time ago, and it wasn't designed for all the cool things we're doing now. Yeah.
In that scenario, does the attacker not really intend to pay that large transaction?
No, they intend to pay for it, but presumably in that if they can win the 200 byte transaction, they're going to win some of my Lightning balance. There'll be more than what they're paying for that pending transaction. So there's some scenarios where that kind of thing can happen. So the idea of package relay is, okay, if I package 2 transactions in one, this is one of the versions of package relay, then I can put my 200, I can do another 200 by one, and he can't attach his 10,000 by one onto mine. You can keep them separate kind of thing. But it's sort of a hand-wavy explanation. But the point is, we just need some mempool updates.
When you say the mempool.
Hey, I'll update mine if you update yours.
Hey, let's go. I'm in.
We start one by one grassroots.
Starts right here.
Let's do it right now.
I'm in. Well, we need an actual implementation to run first, which is,
Is there a no mempool implementation of Bitcoin? Like, can I run a Bitcoin node and just publish to other people's mempools?
You can
Well-
turn mempool off. You just turn it off completely.
you know, fun facts. When the mempool went crazy the first time with ordinals or whatever it was, a bunch of people were revealed as doing that. because they had their Lightning nodes stuck at 1 sat per vbyte forever, and that's the reason that happens is they're not running a mempool to get the actual like proper fee rate. And the nature of Lightning is if you keep it at 1 sat per vbyte and the actual fee is like 100, you've just broken all of your channels.
So they're running a Lightning node on their Bitcoin core with no mempool.
Pretty much, something like that.
Couldn't be me.
Hey, there are inscriptions people that are publishing inscriptions without a signature. Because it saves them money on bytes. So it's like, signature.
They're still paying $12 for monkey JPEG.
Oh my God.
They save 10 cents on a signature.
One of those people are wild.
You know, I guess people wanted NFTs and whatever on Bitcoin, and now we're dealing with the type of people that want to use NFTs.
Did you see the NFT flipping?
What's that?
There was a day, it was only one day, so that was
Oh, I think I saw that. It was like,
that was clickbait, but basically Bitcoin succeeded every other chain for the amount of value exchanged over it for NFTs specifically. So it was like more than Ethereum, and it was some website that like tries to determine how much of it is wash trading, and so we were like 14 million for the day, and then Ethereum was at 12 million, but like 11 million of it was supposedly wash trading.
this is like total value of NFTs were.
Total value of like NFTs being traded.
Okay.
Basically.
Well, you're saying like some NFTs are not wash traded, like. Like
Yeah.
Hey, can you explain that what was it called? SoFon?
SoFon.
The thing when the fees went down low.
Okay, we really got to get Lisa in here because she's the one who knows all about that. But I could paraphrase what Lisa said. That Reindell was running a bot that would front run these like really stupid, similar to unsigned NFTs. Another thing they were doing that was dumb. And he had this bot that just literally they would post a thing, and he posted a thing for the higher fee using mempool policy to get his transaction in first, breaking their like ordinal mints or whatever they were. And he ran it for a while, and apparently that was the reason fees got low for a while.
So is the reason because they didn't mint their coin and they weren't trading it back and forth like the shitcoin?
Yeah, I think there's some nuance to it where like what they do is they mint it like, hey, they'll be like, hey, here's 1 million coins of my shitcoin X, and then the first 1,000 people that publish a Bitcoin transaction, get 1,000 of that. It's a way to like do, but yeah, with like 1,000 transactions just to do their airdrop.
Blocking him because he was saying you can only mint one coin. He was front
Right.
one coin. Was that because they weren't signing it, so it was related?
It was because they didn't know how to RBF.
Okay.
That's funny.
Like they put it in the mempool, his bot would notice it and immediately just copy it with supply of 1.
And they just would post it ghosted.
Yeah.
So now that the cat's out of the bag, there's at least one of the smartest guy in the short bus should be able to fix it, right? But now there's cats out of the bag.
Yeah, right. Like it's like all you got to do is know how to RBF, which I feel like for Bitcoiners is like, oh, sure, but the people coming over and to do their shitcoin stuff.
Notice fees are up again.
Yeah, but
Probably the smartest guy in the shortcut bus fixed it.
well, Reindell turned off his bot. He ran out of money.
Yeah, it costs money to do that.
I mean, I'll chip in.
I mean, but it's hard to. Could you imagine the weird power Reindell must feel if like my bot turned off and I just changed the fee rate of the mempool from.
What if it's just a bug? What if he just he's on vacation and he just forgot?
He tweeted about it. He turned it off. Yeah.
So he just told everyone, he's like, all right, I did it. It was fun. I don't want to waste everyone's
Can we all just pay? Yeah, can we just pay the?
We should have a tip jar. Where we just run that bot, and then here's the Bitcoin.
Seriously,
address.
we get 100 people.
I mean, I'll donate
Hey,
if it's an $8 extra fee I have to pay, I'll donate.
Can we make a casual fund?
Can we open sats?
You could actually you could imagine just someone hosting this node publicly and allowing anyone to just send into it. It's like, here's my current balance, here's the estimate of how much longer that balance will last the node.
Yeah.
Please donate and put some sats in, and then it'll run for longer.
What's
He's the Batman.
It's like a watchtower.
He just comes out of nowhere and kicks the shit out of shitcoiners.
Yeah, his note is the Batman.
Yeah, can we have a watchtower for the mempool where we just beat up crappy, stupid transactions?
well, the thing is, it shouldn't work. He shouldn't be able to do that. The only reason he can is because they don't know how to RBF, right? Like, because when he's out beating them, they could just RBF him back and then win the thing. And I think it's because there's no Toronto maybe? No, I think it's something else, but right. But they just
They don't know how Bitcoin
so
works yet.
yeah.
It's like
You would say
it's like a space odyssey. Like they just found the phone, but they don't know how.
and you would say his bot can't work. Eventually they'll learn RBF, right? But maybe they never do. You know?
No, I don't think they do.
Oh, man.
Figured out Taproot.
But I'm really excited about getting the liquidity into. Is that a timer? Or, oh. Let's go! I love it.
So
That's
what
okay.
would a user interface look like for me wanting to use this tool?
Well, these are like tools for like web developers to use, really, but like developer to just make an app where you can just send and receive Lightning without even think about it, right? And like you'll have to pay something to fund the stuff, but it can just do it all behind the scenes. But I think that the future of like liquidity management on Lightning is getting more and more exciting. In a lot of ways, I think like one of the things that I've noticed, or I guess suspected, because I can't confirm it, is that the people really making money running Lightning routing nodes are the ones that are just selling their liquidity. So, and they don't sell it long forever. They lease it, right? They'll be like, okay, you can use my Lightning liquidity for a month, kind of thing. And those are the guys who are making a ton of money. So, like I think it's like Loki going down, where there's a lot of money being made, and part of the reason I want to talk about it is they don't want other people to figure it out. But I think that cat's going to come out of the bag in years, and I think like I think
So being an LSP is a lucrative future business if it isn't already.
yeah, and I think the world I envision is that people could automatically become LSPs, right? So like one like
It's open source. Anybody can jump in.
yeah, but the thing you need is you need a liquidity market that's decentralized, right? So like if you want to like jump in and sell liquidity on Lightning today, you have to either go through Pool or Magma or like be Phoenix or be a large LSP like that, right? There's no way to be like, hey, I want to just do it directly with no middleman, right? But that's possible with Lisa's liquidity ads thing, which I think needs a brand name change because liquidity ads I think is kind of confuses people. But anyway, I think it's like way sexier. It's a really sexy name. I don't know what that is. Like, Lightning liquidity will get you a girlfriend, maybe something like that. But there's a world where you could imagine, like, if you have a dedicated spot, like you're a deli shop person or whatever, like just you get your point of sale in there, and you can have it automatically. You buy a product, it automatically gets liquidity on its own to receive stuff, and then if you have funds sitting on there, you can automatically lease those funds out to somebody else. As one example, right? But then you could also have like anybody running a Lightning node that isn't like on a phone, that's on some kind of always-on machine. They should just automatically be leasing out their unused liquidity.
I was trying to do that on my Umbro node with Lightning Terminal and Pool, was it right? But no, there was like 3 bids a day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was a loser, so no one bought it for me. So
Right. Well, with Lightning liquidity ads today, there's probably less bidders than that. But I think it's important to build for the long run, right? Like I think if you build a thing that's decentralized and build it well, then eventually I think the users will come. And I think the users will come for 2 different reasons. I think the people that are like trying to be LSPs like you were on your node, they'll come for the money, right? They're gonna get paid pretty well for it, and I think those people will figure it out on their own because eventually rich enterprise people will want to do that. But then the users will just like it because the apps just work. So
Is there a good example of an LSP, a liquidity provider making money that isn't an LSP? Because when I think of LSP, I think of somebody that is also fostering service to users. So it isn't just that they're providing liquidity to a channel, but
it's true.
they have users.
I guess we're making up these words as we go. What is the umbrella of LSP? But
someone else's server and you just remote sign, right?
there you go. I think that.
We
Yeah.
call it a channel provider, but we can't use it.
Oh
I
man.
think that's a good description. Channel provider.
But back to your question, I think a good example is probably the DZ's node.
Okay.
So he like out of nowhere got one of the most successful Lightning nodes around, seemingly out of nowhere.
You said D's nuts?
The E's nuts is silent.
And so he does routing, and then he leases liquidity through Pool and Magma, And now he does direct leasing, so you can go to his website and be like, hey, I want a channel, and just pay him, and he'll open a channel to you, right? You have to trust him for it, but like, you know, he's doing that because it's making him money, right?
Cheaper too than the Lightning Labs.
Yeah, the Lighting Labs pool and Magma, they take a big cut, right? So, and the other problem with those is that there's if you go behind the scenes, like, hey, you're paying somebody whatever it is, 3-4% or something to do this, and they're trying to make a profit, but they also have to pay they have to move funds on chain to make that happen. So like you, in your mind, you're just using the service, you get the liquidity you want, but behind the scenes, it's probably going to be about 2 on-chain transactions that happen, and that's going to increase. So they're not actually getting 3%; they might have to pay like 2.5% just to get those transactions done. And that's where, you know, I love splicing. Splicing is great because it can do that same thing in one transaction. So it's transactions. You combine liquidity leasing with half the on-chain costs. Like, I think you're off to the races.
Speculate, what is the first wallet you would like to implement all the stuff you're building?
Oh man, I want them all to.
But like, so Mutiny's running LDK under the scenes, so they're kind of running, right? Because it'd be harder, like, they need to do a lot of stuff. So what is a core Lightning wallet that can implement it? Like Greenlight, right? It's probably like, or Green, or whatever they call it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the best candidate, right?
I've been really curious what Breeze is up to. I wouldn't be surprised because they seem the company who's been doing this kind of thing for a long time. They seem well geared up for it.
They're running Greenlight in the background, but they have their own SDK. So Breeze is probably the front runner.
I could see Breeze being the first one to it. I have no idea what they're doing, but they just seem well positioned.
Give him a call.
Let's go.
Does Voltage do liquidity leasing? Is that a thing that they?
Low, yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
Voltage will open a channel to you. Yeah,
I
give
mean,
you some
he does it under the
liquidity
covers.
up front.
Yeah. And there's like a monthly like subscription type of deal. that
Yeah,
do,
you could
right?
subscribe to more. Yeah, and they'll constantly rebalance and add more liquidity
Yeah.
to their channel.
Yeah, and they're the only ones that do like the just-in-time liquidity.
I thought Amboss does it now too. Like they have the same service.
Okay.
I tried to sign up, it was kind of hard and I gave up. But it was a pain in the butt where I'm like, I don't really want to do this.
I own the domain elleninbound.com.
Oh wow. Well, okay. Can you invite me on your yacht one day?
You're gonna have a yacht for any of us. So. You're gonna
Yeah.
drive it.
I do have a sailboat.
Did you drive that to that?
Yes, in 2 days. No, it's a plan I have, but it's the plan I'm having over like the course of years, right? Like I think if the fastest I could do it might be like 3 or 4 months kind of thing. So I'm gonna chop it up, maybe 2 or 3. I don't know, but it's just a long time. So I'm gonna chop it up into smaller trips. Do like 1-2 week trips, leave it in Mexico. 1-2 week trip, leave it in El Salvador, right? And then kind of go through Panama and repeat.
All right, I have another question. This is my
All right.
question. Next soft fork, you can pick one thing.
Oh God. Okay. Well, APO.
APO?
Yeah.
Okay.
Over
CTV.
Well, CTV as it is doesn't help any of the problems that APO solves.
Okay.
There's a whole new version of Lightning being worked on that just depends on APO. And so, like, if CTV had APO too, it'd be like, okay, like, cool, join the party. But like, it doesn't. So, like, what do you do?
You're talking about L2?
Yeah, it's rebranded now. It's LN Symmetry.
Ooh, symmetry.
The devs are starting to learn some branding. It's great.
Symmetry.
What's APO?
So the core idea is that with Lightning, we're doing all of these pre-signed transactions, right? So like in a typical transaction you're going to build it. You're going to say where it goes, you're going to build it, you're going to sign it, you're going to publish it. And Lightning just the first 2, drops the third one, right? So we end up with all these transactions that are built and signed but not published. The nature of signing a transaction is when you sign one transaction, you also have to attend to where those funds are coming from. So like this is if you're doing a basic transaction, it's not a big deal, right? Like I have my UTXO set or whatever, trying to use technical terms. I have my Bitcoin here sitting there on chain doing nothing, and then I sign, hey, this Bitcoin is going to you. What APO allows us to do is say, okay, I don't have Bitcoin yet, but I can sign to move it to you when I get it. And this chaining together of things is basically what Lightning's built on. And it would simplify so much of Lightning. We'd get to erase so much code. And also it would improve a lot of things, like a lot of like exploits and problems would get better. Oh, yeah, this one I think is badly branded as well. It's any prev out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We need a sexier name for that thing.
It's this magical input so every Bitcoin transaction is inputs and outputs. And the prev out is this magical thing that like binds the two. Yeah. And it technically doesn't exist in a transaction on the blockchain because it doesn't need to be stored. It's sort of implied. Okay. But when you're pre-signing stuff, and just signing anything in general, you need to have it. So if you can't compute what the previous transaction is, you can't have your prev out. You can't make a signature.
And
unless you have APO.
Proof. It's like a proof that you need?
It's the information of where that money's coming from, which there's no transaction that technically exists. Yeah.
And one way to think about it is in Lightning, whenever I send you a Lightning payment, I'm actually making a new Bitcoin transaction for every payment that's not published. So an active channel might have like thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of these transactions that are never meant to be published, but they all can be. And so say I have 100,000 of these, I need to also have justice transactions for each one of those. Right, and if we get APO, we can have one justice transaction that covers all 100,000. So, which is a good. Yeah, well, I mean, Lightning works without it. It's just making Lightning developers' lives hard, but it also prevents new features that we want to do.
Creates a pretty fat database too, right?
That too, yeah. The database savings switching to APO for Lightning would be huge.
Does splicing reduce that database load? Because if you're splicing, you're essentially starting fresh.
Yes, that feels like a gimme question. Yeah.
Not really, because I'm skeptical about software in general, so I see that as reducing the pressure for another software.
That's true. Yeah, like without if we have APO, the database reduction from splicing would be negligible, right? All of the splicing benefits to your database are because you're storing this 100,000 justice transaction. And the great thing about to mention what you were saying before is that if you have 100,000 of these pending previously paid Lightning transactions, Bitcoin transactions representing Lightning transactions, when you do a splice, that because it checks into the blockchain, you can forget about all 100,000 of those and start fresh. So it ends up being a big like database delete you get to do. Yeah.
Good job, Dusty.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
All right, you're out of the hot seat.
Okay. All right. Who's next?
Who's next?
Two more. I know we got at least two more people out of here from.
We have a Nostr panel.
Jim?
Jim or Carlos.
Talk about the meetup yesterday.
Oh yeah, your exploits in San Antonio?
Oh, we need you here every Friday. Every Friday you flying. That's a thing.
Cute. Is that yours?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
It says Music City Dance.
Nice shirt.
Thank you. I get a lot of compliments. It's an homage to Twitter. Not really,
It's a
but
homage to Twitter.
yeah.
I was trying to guess like where you got that shirt.
I don't even remember, dude. It's been a long time. It's a good one though.
Express?
I don't know where the fuck I got. Maybe Banana Republic.
It looks like a step up from
But-
Banana Republic.
What you working?
Yeah.
What you working?
All right. Yeah. So my name's Jim. I'm working on a lot of stuff right now, but one project that's fun, I worked with Topher on this concept of data buffets, which is a way of broadcasting offers for API services on Nostr and having other people pick them up
L402.
with L402s. Yeah, so they're like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Talk about that. Was that difficult?
I don't think it's very difficult, no.
Because I thought you were. Well, I was only familiar with you guys. This is what you're working on for the hackathon. That's at, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we won a prize at hackathon for this, or at the hackathon for this. We were able to. So L402s aren't that common. People aren't really using them. So we're trying to make a system, that removes rent seeking at every level. So like I could have made a website that was like, I'm gonna just publish all these L402s, and you either gotta pay me or post or something, or send a request, and I'll put them on the site. That would just end up being centralized and rent seeky. So that's what's cool about Nostr is you can use it to broadcast these offers, but then still go out of band and retain privacy.
Because you don't have to keep a database of all that stuff.
Right. Well, yeah, people use people use Nostr when they're like too lazy to make a database, but it's not even about that.
great.
It's just
Poor man's database.
yeah. I mean that's cool, but obviously like it's very unreliable. I think the coolest thing about it is that it's removing rent seeking from the system, and it's making it so you have multiple marketplaces on multiple. So what I mean is, I could, so like the way Amazon basically controls all of the e-commerce in the world. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but they control a significant portion of the e-commerce, and they're able to impose unfair, undue, taxes and regulations on. They're like a pseudo government. They can just impose all this shit on people. They're just trying to sell stuff, buy and sell stuff for their own profit, exactly. And maybe not even for their own profit, maybe for their ideological reasons. Who knows what it is? But that's the cool thing about Nostr is that I think everyone's kind of obsessed with social media. I fucking hate social media. I wish people would just get off it. It's corrosive. I don't think it. I think there's positive aspects. I think probably Bitcoiners are the best at taking the signal from the noise. So like Bitcoin, Twitter's pretty cool, but I just wish people would use these decentralized tools for something other than just social media. So I think this is an example of doing that.
Yeah, it's a decentralized protocol, so yeah, we can use it to post an offer for an API, and that offer itself just kind of like lives in the Nostr network. You can store it on multiple relays. It's very easy for people to find you, so they don't have to go, because yeah, you sort of have this like problem where, okay, I want to look for an API I can consume to do the thing. Let's say it's a ChatGPT thing. You want to ask a question and with a prompt and get something back. Like, if you're offering that service, I can consume it from you, but how do I know that you even exist? If I already know your website, then I can just go to your website and consume your API. But then how do I know like who your competitors are? Like, how do I know what even the marketplace is? Like, a lot of people, they don't want to do this. And one reason why Amazon is like popular is because they essentially have this marketplace that people can go to. And it's very easy for them to compare prices, ratings, all that stuff. So.
Yeah, Nostr kind of takes the One Ring back from like an Amazon or whatever other hub you would use to Docker's relatively benign, but like imagine Docker got tyrannical and was like, you got to pay us to host your code or whatever, right? Like,
use Docker,
yeah,
So you're making
yeah,
a, you're making a marketplace, but the product is
API service. API services. I mean, so the example he gave is you could just pimp out your API key for ChatGPT or Whisper or these other services. Really anything. Really any.
your own service.
Like you probably figure out a way to do your Netflix account. I'm gonna probably eventually try to figure that out. But you could get pretty crazy with it, I think. And so we actually so we did a hackathon, won a prize for it. I wanted to take a step further because I just was realizing that it was hard for people to understand. It is kind of a weird concept, but I made a site called Cascader. It's you can find it at cascader.vercel.app, and you can play with it. You can actually make workflows. So it's kind of like if you ever made a Logic app and like an Azure app, or made any other kind of workflow like Zapier. It's a lot like Zapier. So you can just be like, okay, I'm gonna take ChatGPT and I'm gonna type in a prompt, and then it's gonna feed it to text to image prompt, and it's gonna go out on Nostr. It's gonna get me the best price that I can get. And then it's gonna put out the image.
Daisy chain API calls.
Exactly. So I did that one. I did another demo where you can put in YouTube URL and then it'll come out with a transcription of the YouTube video. So still in the early phases of this, quality of services. I'm one of the few people running them. We're working on making it more decentralized and making all the code open source so that you have a bigger anonymity set, because that's the other side we didn't talk about. Is it's removing rent seeking. It's also removing the surveillance economy from this stuff. And I think this is the future of the internet. Is we're gonna have private services. We're gonna have
Sort of
true
like,
markets. Yeah.
offering a VPN to an API. You can wrap it with your own service and have all these random people use your service, and it sort of anonymizes
Right.
who's actually using the service.
We're gonna kill the surveillance economy. We're gonna do, we're gonna remove the rent seeking. We're gonna make it a true market. That's what the internet was supposed to be. Yeah.
You know a lot. They probably have like a virtual me running in the background.
Yeah, did you see that shit with Zuckerberg? He's like paying celebrities to make fake personas. Like they have a fake persona of Kendall Jenner that is like some variation. Yeah, it's an AI. They're like normalizing this shit. It's like abusive to me. They're like abusing children. They're like they're right, but they're making like Zuckerberg has become the villain in that movie Gamer. Has anyone ever seen Gamer? He's like Michael C. Hall in Gamer now, pretty much. like like he's making all these fake personas and then like basically getting 16-year-old girls to like want to do this stuff too, which is even more messed up. And it's like how can there be consent if you don't even understand what you're doing or what you're giving up?
Well,
Like
they're
that's
probably-
what's
they're
crazy
doing
about it.
everything
It's
to
like
that.
it's creepy. I don't want to go too far off the rails here, but it's like it reminds me of something else. I'll say that. You know, when people do stuff like that. So that's kind of what we're fighting against when we're making stuff like Cascade or making other decentralized services on Nostr, Lightning, Bitcoin.
Yeah, because anybody can do this. Like anybody can have their own API key for OpenAI, for example, and then create their own service that they sell, and they can make money, and they can provide anonymity for anybody that wants to use OpenAI a la carte without giving over their credit card information.
That's
or
right.
their personal information.
Yeah.
And anybody can do this.
Say the URL one more time.
It's cascader.vercel.app. So cascdr.vercel.app. You can also find it on the bolt.fun website under data buffets. So Topher's been helping me with that. Shout out to Christian, who's been doing a lot of great work on improving the service provider templates, making them even more performant. He's such a perfectionist. I don't think he's released it yet, but I think probably by next week or the week after, we'll have a bunch of example code you can play with, and you can run them in the cloud and earn sats.
Spin up your own services.
Exactly.
Shout out Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the NIP 105, which covers the offers themselves that you post to the Nostr network.
That's right. So Christian, Topher, myself, and Austin authored that, and it's starting to get some traction. People are I think being able to see it with Cascader has made people kind of appreciate it and understand the possibilities. I think you'll see more people building on it. You know, I had some people like some of the guys from Round Rock were asking me questions about it and want to develop on it, and some other people at other places. So it's exciting.
Very bullish.
Captain Stacks.
Could you see any good reason to make the API services payable in eCash token as opposed to Lightning?
Yeah, I suppose. So the question is, should we make them payable in eCash? I'm not really big on eCash. I am admittedly not big-brained enough to understand all of the trade-offs. My understanding is that it's private, so maybe there's a gain on privacy, but I don't. Other than that, I'm not really totally sure how that works. I know the Fedimint guys are playing around with these types of concepts of offering API services through a Fedimint. I think that's an interesting idea. I don't know how that'll
NIP
go. But
105, which covers the offer spec, and also covers L4, or just 402 is using 402. Should that be opened up to use alternative currencies versus just Lightning?
I don't know. I'm not going to say no, but right now I'm just focused on trying to like get good examples, get good service provider code, getting good clients out there to kind of get mind share and get people excited about building on this thing, so we can kind of create a movement and open it up to more things like that. If somebody it's open source. Somebody wants to put it in, they can do it right now. Nobody's stopping them.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I was checking it out. I was checking out the demo. I know it's early stage, but I might have some design.
How's San
ideas,
Antonio?
Oh yeah, we went to the San Antonio meetup last night, and it was a lot of fun. Shout out to Gabe, he's the man. I'd never really been to the San Antonio meetup. I'd been to San Antonio maybe once ever, and it was interesting. It's a different crowd than what we're used to. What I found fascinating is there was one person in the crowd that had a little bit of knowledge on Bitcoin, but they weren't bought in, and we kind of converted her over time. Where we were able to kind of like, she asked great questions. She, like, a lot of times when you're talking to somebody that's a no coiner, they'll just like throw propaganda at you or say a bunch of BS. Like, she asked great questions, and we were able to kind of rationally and calmly explain them. And I think by the end she became pretty bullish, which was pretty cool. I've never seen it happen like that. Maybe it was that there's so many of us against one, but it was cool. Mark gave a really good talk, and he was able to, in Mark's way, kind of calmly explain how things work and why he thinks the way he does, and why he doesn't really mess with shitcoins. And
from the exchange's perspective, or what was it?
I was just from more of a finance person's perspective than like a tech person's perspective, and it was interesting to have him and then have me and Nick, and then some other people with different perspectives, some other people that are like generationally maybe have a different mindset than us and how they think about it. It was kind of cool. It was very casual. It was very
Mark's very casual.
Yeah. Mark's a very chill guy. Yeah. Yeah. But
Does he see it as a commodity or a currency?
I think he sees it as a commodity. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but that's his that's my take based on talking to him.
Okay. Cool. San Antonio. Said I missed it.
Yeah. It's a good time. All right.
Yeah, come on up, Carlos. What are you working on?
How long will you be here, too? Are you going to be here for another week?
No, till I guess the first week of December. So first off, am I famous now?
Yes.
Nice. Hi, Mom.
It's official.
It's official. Good.
You got to stay close to it, though.
Like this? Like the. So yeah, I'll be here till at least the first week of December.
That's a long time.
Yeah, over a month. It's the longest I've ever been in the States.
How do you like it so far?
Austin is nice. It's a place that I could see myself living. Like I visited Vegas. That's definitely not a place that I would live in.
No, I couldn't live in Vegas either.
Yeah, no. I visited the nice
It's a lot
part.
of fun, though.
Yeah, of course, for a week.
Yeah.
And then,
Then you're
yeah, but it's a week of eternal hangover.
Yeah, right.
And endless buffets.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, what they used to be. Now there are none. I was there in most of them, at least the good ones. I was there in I don't know, May, something like that, with my parents.
The true constant inflation for me is the Wynn breakfast brunch buffet.
Oh yeah, that one.
Jesus, the price on that went up.
It's 65 now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. For brunch?
Too much. Yeah, no
What do
chance.
you like about Austin?
Well, downtown is walkable.
Yeah.
It's very awful.
Half of the people here are Mexicans.
It's like home.
Yeah, there are good places for tacos. I was positively surprised by that.
Oh, you have a recommendation?
Which one? This place? I cannot remember, but it's close to Commons.
It's a taco place close to Commons.
One
Okay.
taco?
Possibly
I like that place.
with the luchador mask. One taco, I think. That has the wrestler mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's that one. Yeah, and it's definitely much better than Potle. Oops.
All right, so food. Food is good. It's walkable.
Yeah,
Downtown.
Pleb Lab, of course. Bitcoin Commons is also nice. All the Bitcoin things happening here that apparently now are happening in Nashville, right?
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Have you bought a stake with Bitcoin yet?
Yes, last time I was here at Three Forks.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Really nice
I don't know
place.
if you can do that in Nashville.
Ooh. It was actually 4 because I had dessert. Yeah, no, but jokes apart, I don't even know where Nashville is.
It's in Tennessee. somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, probably I was just giving them trash, and I didn't even know anything about Nashville.
So meetups. Have you gone to the river yet? Or I'm sorry,
No.
Lady Bird Lake. I guess it's technically a lake.
Or Town Lake. So
No, nothing. I've driven past, and people have pointed at it through the window, but that's it. No. I'm here for doing stuff. Yes, I am. Thank you for asking, Austin.
Yeah, there's a lot of places, here in the city.
Yeah,
My
that too.
bachelorette
I haven't
party.
seen personally, but
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Have you gone to a live show yet?
No, I've been to a club called Superstition.
Okay.
That was nice.
It's Friday night, man. We can go to
We
see a
should.
show.
We definitely should. Eventually. Like now.
Like right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, let's get. I need to do some advertising for you back, mate.
Well, yeah. So tell us what you're doing at Nike right now, because you guys are working on a secret project.
It's not so secret anymore. Francisco and Gustavo already talked about it in El Salvador.
Oh yeah, that's true.
this week?
Yeah, it was not streamed, but it's recorded. So as soon as we have the recording, we're going to republish it and make it gigantic, and we're gonna become even more famous, and we're gonna get many more girlfriends, just like with splicing.
We'll all get girlfriends. Yes.
Yeah. So no, at Yopaki, I am the CTO of a gigantic team of 3 people, plus Darren, all C-level except for Darren. And what we are trying to do is bring in the Bitcoin standard to Mexico,
Yes.
which is difficult because
That is extremely difficult. It's been anticipated, I think, for like the past 10 years, and it doesn't seem like Bitcoin has broken into the Mexican market.
exactly, and everyone talks about it, but I think that people don't really get why it's not happening. I remember that the first time that we discussed this with Dustin back in November in BTC++, my usual monologue by now of why the Bitcoin value propositions don't stand in Mexico. And that's the catch, that's the headline. They do apply, of course, because they apply everywhere. It's just that people don't need them because they have replacements. Not as good, but if they make 80% of the job, that's fine. Inflation hedge. Think of this. Since 1910, in the Mexican Revolution, where everything was chaotic, till now, we've had only like a decade of 1-digit inflation. Like in the 70s, 80s, it was 50, 60, 80, 100% inflation. Most people that have already amassed wealth in Mexico that know how to produce it, they also know how to protect it against inflation. Just let me give you an example. The dollar was cheap against the Mexican peso for the last 12 months or so. And a cousin of mine that he sells tires, car tires. When he saw a spike on the price of the dollar against the Mexican peso, instead of just buying dollars, no, he bought a shitload of car tires. Lots of them.
That was his inflation hedge.
Exactly, that was his inflation hedge. And for many other people, it's real estate or merchandise in their shops, or if they just have a retail shop, they know like they're gonna be among the first to just raise their prices.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, inflation hedge it's sort of solved in Mexico already by those people that have wealth to hedge.
Pump up your inventory.
Yep. So, now, the other one, banking the unbanked. Everyone, absolutely everyone that has never set foot in Mexico, and they just comfortably from a first world chair, just sit and say, yes, people need banks in Mexico. We don't. We already have many banks in Mexico. And I don't know if you know this, but there is a system in Mexico called SPEI, System of Electronic Immediate Payment, something like that's the translation.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of what you guys are now finally starting to experience here in the States, RTP.
What? Oh, I don't know. With
Real-time payments.
Oh, okay.
Interbank settlements that are almost instant, right?
Right.
Yeah?
Cash App does that.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm really glad that the States is now finally indulging into the 21st century. That's really nice.
Yeah.
It is nice.
The Fed is even trying to get into the game.
Oh yeah, in the 22nd century now with the CBDCs. But no, let me tell you about space. So the space system has been in Mexico for around, I don't know, 10 years probably. I wasn't there when it was popularized, but I think I lived there when it was invented. And it really makes its job. I can send right now from my bank 500 pesos to my brother that has a bank account in another bank, and the settlement is in seconds, probably minutes. The most that I've ever seen is pay to take time for settlement was a transaction that I witnessed was 500,000 pesos, or $25,000, and it took hour and a half. and it was in 2 different banks, and it was the first time that the receiver was sending to this, that the sender was sending to this receiver.
Okay.
So we have that system called SPAY. On top of that, there are these convenience shops called Oxxos in Mexico. They are the Mexican version of 7-Eleven. They are ubiquitous in cities. Everyone is within walking distance of an Oxxo in Mexico in a city, and in villages, everyone can find one. Well, most villages can find one. You go to Oxxo with your national ID, and in 15 minutes, you have a bank card, a debit card, that it's Visa or MasterCard, I cannot remember, and that it's attached to an app by this shop, and that has access to the space system. So in 15 minutes, you just walk and get a bank account that you can send money to the rest of the country right away. So banking the unbank, that probably works somewhere else. But in Mexico, I would say that whoever wants to have a bank account can do it in 30 minutes. So those are not the reasons to get Bitcoin in Mexico. So what we are trying instead is to go from the cultural side. We want to regionalize, tropicalize Bitcoin, so people at least get interested. And we are doing that with what I've been working on and Darren for the past couple of days, which is a loteria.
A loteria.
Loteria.
Please explain that one.
So loteria is just the Mexican version of bingo, where instead of only numbers, you have actually nice cards. And these cards are really traditional design. Everyone knows it. It's been played in Mexico for the last 120, 150 years. Absolutely everyone in Mexico knows it.
So it's like bingo, but instead of letters, you actually have pictures.
Yep.
That you work with.
Nice pictures. What we are doing, the twist is that instead of just having the usual cards, which are the sun, the brave man, the drunkard, the
It's like
moon.
it kind of has like a tarot kind of feel to it.
Indeed, yeah.
It's kind of mystical. It's cool.
Yeah. It is cool, and everyone that sees a loteria card identifies it immediately because the designs haven't changed.
I recognize some of the pictures.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
iconic.
They are really iconic. So we took that design, and then we Bitcoinized it. So instead of having cards such as the sun, the moon, the brave man, the drunkard, now you have the miner, the maximalist, the Bitcoin standard, and they have sort of the same shape and feeling. And now you're going to get it on your phone, and every 12 hours, a new card is going to be dealt, and if you have it, you're going to get 100 sats. If you complete a row, you get 1,000. If you complete a column, you get 500. And if you complete the whole board, a full Bitcoin.
Oh no! Wow. So.
Big spender over here.
Yeah. I mean, it would be really cool for it to happen. Well, also for us.
Odds at play.
Yeah.
Is it active now? Or is it demo?
No. It's not active. It's not demo. It's still in development. Most of it's in my machine or our private GitHub repo, and we plan to have it on test flight for us, I would say, hopefully by Wednesday, and latest the week after that, at least everyone here at Pleb Lab will have it. Okay. Then we'll start posting the shit out of it.
Yeah.
I'd like to play it. Sounds like fun.
This was the announcement that you made at the block party.
Correct. No, yeah, we hinted at that, but the actual mechanics were just revealed 2 days ago in El Salvador by Francisco and Gustavo.
Yeah, adopting Bitcoin.
And he did like a talk about like cultural, like what you're describing.
Yes. The point of the talk was precisely that, tropicalizing Bitcoin to enter the Mexican minds, and hopefully their wallets, because they do need it. It's just that since they have shitty replacements, they are fine with them.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool.
So you mentioned that you technically can't run a lottery. So this is going to be designed slightly differently.
Well, no, the lottery, all of the design is now public domain. It's going to be run exactly like that. Instead of just dealing cards one after the other, it's usually in squares in town centers in Mexico City. In all of Mexico, it's just going to be one card every 12 hours. So you get a new board every week, so you have a new chance of winning a full Bitcoin every week.
Okay. Wow.
That's the idea. Yes, this up to legalese implications that I don't know, it would be still open for absolutely everyone worldwide, not only the States and Mexico. It will be open for everyone that wants to indulge into Mexican culture via loteria and earning some free sats.
So you're the CTO of
Yep.
Neopaki, so you're dealing with the technical side.
Yes.
Who gets to deal with the legal side of running a lottery in Neopaki?
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
No, we ask around. We know lots of people in Mexico to ask around about these things, but yeah, since it's in summary, since we're just giving away money without any participation or purchase required or anything like that, it's pretty much granted.
Yeah, that's where it's not technically a lottery because you're giving money away.
Exactly. Yeah, the one difference is that in Mexico you get a board, but you pay 5 to 10 pesos for the board. Just in bingo you pay certain amount for the board. Here you don't pay anything. You just get one.
Did you mention the advertising aspect of it? How they can't see advertising kind of.
Very good question, Carl. So yes, you're right. The this is for people to get familiar with Mexican culture and for Mexicans to get familiar with Bitcoin, and it's a response to a. It's not exactly a law. It's more like a memo by some regulators in Mexico that say that exchanges of virtual assets on which they categorize Bitcoin cannot freely advertise. I don't know how blurry that line is because I've seen the largest marketplace in Latin America advertise on shirts on football teams in Mexico. So I don't know. I don't know how.
You're gonna test the waters anyway?
Yeah, I mean, we're giving money away from free, right? How could they say no to a game that it's just it's a cultural game that we're just giving away sats? And it's a way of getting advertised and promoted on the App Store, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah, instead of buying the board, you download the app.
Exactly, you don't buy any board, and you just download the app. Although, people that have seen the designs have requested already the physical version, so that would be nice to do as well.
Physical board?
Yeah, because for instance,
Just collectors, like one.
no, to actually use it. I mean, my nephews and nieces visited me like a month ago, and at school they still teach the game, and they had their gigantic boards, and they wanted to play that, and they wanted me like, Uncle Carlos, could you deal the cards?
That's cool.
Yeah,
That'll be nice.
yeah, that's the idea. That's what we're doing now.
And if the launch is big enough, you can expose people around the world,
Exactly.
not just people in Mexico.
At the very least, exporting Mexican culture.
Yeah, that's great.
Viva Mexico!
Yeah, I mean, people have to know some more about Mexico than tequila and tacos, which is the best part. I agree. But there are some others.
Is there a particular launch date that you're trying to target?
Well, I hard-coded 4th of December on the
Hard-coded.
yeah,
December. Okay.
but yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
How hard is hard-coded?
It's a constant that can be overridden by a environment variable,
Okay.
which hopefully won't be the case that I need to override it.
Okay. So something
Fingers
with
crossed.
the way that it does the entropy or the randomization is based upon that date?
No, I need to calculate the number of weeks, so you would get a different board each week. And I said, okay, what's the first day? Okay, it's a Monday, 4th of December. That was it. I just picked a date that I was more or less comfortable
This
with.
could be a very famous date.
Yeah,
never
it
know.
will be.
Hopefully.
We're gonna manifest it. It will be. It will be the day. It will be a big day.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, I think it's going to be a success. I'm just worried about my eye bags. And
Well, I mean, you're just giving money away, so you don't have to worry too hard.
thank you, Topher. Yeah. That's it.
What are people going to complain about? I didn't get the free money that I thought I was going to get?
Yeah. Well, there are many entitled people.
That's true.
Have you seen all of those that vote for the left?
Oh yeah, no, I know. It gives.
Yeah.
That's okay, but you know what you're doing. I'm sure it'll be a great success.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
No, fingers crossed. You got this.
Thank you.
All right, any other announcements you want to make for your packing?
Nope, not at the moment. We'll.
Oh yeah, what do you think of the
Pleb Lab's new space is awesome. I like it, but it's because first it was the other place was spread out, and here we all see each other sort of, except for Keon that is always locked up.
He's defected. He started his own Pleb Lab.
Yeah, within Pleb Lab.
Within Pleb Lab.
Yeah.
Very meta.
Meta Pleb Lab indeed. Yeah. No, we no longer see that many patrols because there are not that many crackheads around here.
That's
Not
true.
that many. Not that many. There are still some.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to get access to drugs.
Yes.
Medication.
Yes. But yeah, it's nice. It's a nice building. The people are still nice, all the same, and yeah, I like it so far. It's a great idea. I wish that we had something like that in anywhere in Mexico, a Bitcoin community that would sit down and work on Bitcoin and have these discussions. But I think it's difficult. We've also worked a bit on that at Yopaki. We have some plans to evangelize Bitcoin at Mexican universities and high schools. That would be great.
Yeah, because you got some other folks, Santiago. And
Yeah.
Cardiff,
Yeah.
like coming together.
Yeah. They would be definitely on the map to organize something.
Yeah, but I mean, people are living all over the place, so
Yeah,
they have to centralize in one location.
that's the problem. That everything in Mexico is centralized in Mexico City, which I don't really like.
I love Mexico City, but then that was only like my first time there, so
Yeah, you were there for a week.
I was there for a week.
Yeah, lived there for 5 years. Made
I'd
traffic.
probably die crossing the street.
Yeah.
Because nobody slows down for you.
No.
Next Saturday is our Friendsgiving, and Darren's fiance Hannah's like putting together this whole Thanksgiving stuff, which is kind of cool. She's like,
So,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. We have an announcement to make.
Come on, Carl, you do it here.
somebody mentioned it. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do
Well, thank
I'm
you,
out.
Carlos,
Bye,
for,
Mom.
Talking about your packing.
Okay, well, we can wrap it up here. This
We
was
don't- we
great.
don't have, Logan's in the back.
Now you want me to press the button?
Yeah, if you want to press, but we're not ready yet because we have to make an announcement from Car.
Oh, okay.
From
I'll
Car,
do
from
that.
Topher. No, you don't
So,
have to.
Yeah, so coming up, is it next week?
The 18th,
18th.
Saturday the 18th, 5:30. We're gonna eat food together, and we're gonna talk about what we're thankful for.
Yeah. Serve mashed potatoes.
I was gonna sign up.
Eat a turkey leg.
Carmen's bringing the buffalo chicken dip, which is
I was gonna sign up to bring the beer, so everyone will be my friend if I bring some good beer.
Yeah, so 18th, this next Saturday, we're having Plebs Giving at the lab. For the one viewer.
Do you
Okay.
remember
So
it?
for the 4 viewers
Do you
watching.
remember how we finished PBS before? Was there like was there a salutation?
clapping, and then everyone would go, okay, that's
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did it.